Transit Arts.
Hello, inventors. Today we're going to be talking about rest, and we're going to be talking about I'm going to be talking about a little bit about sleep, about your brain, and about meditation. So, what I like about rest and about sleep and meditation is it all kind of comes back to your brain. And I don't know if you knew this, but the way you remember things and you experience things and you perceive things is all sort of happening in your brain. And what happens with your brain is your brain has a bunch of little sort of wires almost, little things called neurons, and they connect, and the interconnection of those neurons is what makes you you. And why am I talking about the brain? I thought we were talking about rest. Well, the important thing about rest is it gives your brain a chance to form those neurons and link pathways in a way that helps you remember things. I'll flash up a couple images of neurons and to sort of give you a good idea of what's going on inside your head, inside your noggin. There's a bunch of tiny little things that sort of connect to make memories and make all sorts of things happen. And rest and sleep is a huge part of making those connections. Because without sleep, the connections aren't made. Everything falls apart. And you lose memory. You lose all sorts of stuff. Your ability to think is all compromised when you don't get enough sleep. So sleep is super important, and meditation is pretty important too. Because if you ever look at, I'll flash up the image of neurons again. You see how it's all sort of interconnected, and there's all sorts of, it's not one straight path. And that's kind of what's going on in your brain. Whenever you're trying to think about something, you're actually thinking about 10 other things at the same time. And what meditation does is it helps you really, really try and focus in on just the one or two things that you're trying to think about. Whether that is doing work, homework, or playing a video game of some sort, or any sort of skill that requires your attention is going to be helped with meditation. And a couple of ways to meditate would be to breathe. And this sounds so silly, because it's like, I breathe all the time. But when you're breathing, you're also counting to 10, and you're doing that really, really simple thing over and over for about 5 to 10 minutes. And that'll really actually sort of change your brain. It'll change the way you're thinking about things on a physical level. That's which is crazy, because it's just counting to 10 and paying attention to your breath. Anyway, if you want to try that out, you take a deep breath in and out, and then you sort of just start breathing as if you would breathe normally. And counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you just keep breathing and paying attention to your breath, paying attention to the counting. And about 5 to 10 minutes in, you're going to start feeling a little bit different, because every time you count to 10, or while you're counting to 10, your brain is going to want to think of something else. You're going to be thinking about, oh, look at this sound, or what am I going to do later, or this, that, and the other. And that's part of it. You're not supposed to only be you're trying, the whole point is to try and focus on counting to 10, but your brain is naturally going to want to think about other things. The thing about meditation is you're focusing your brain on one task, counting to 10, and paying attention to your breath, feeling the breath coming in and out of your nose and mouth. It's pretty cool. So that's meditation, a little bit about sleep, and of course it wouldn't be an introduction to rest if I didn't go over how to say rest in Spanish. So I think I'm going to throw in a bonus word. So okay, but in Spanish, rest is descanso. Okay? So, descanso. Descanso. And I'll also do sleep. dormir. Oh, so you can say this is more or less to sleep. So dormir. It's pretty cool. Okay, well, I'll see you around, inventors.
Transit Arts.